What's up, everyone? I'm back at y'all with another video. Now for this one, this is a new movie collection video, part 3. Now if you haven't checked out my other ones, please check those out. I have a whole playlist of my movie collection. So if you haven't checked those out, please check those out. So yeah, now let's get started. First up, we have The Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2. The first one's great. I don't think I've watched the second one yet, but I'm planning on it. But the first one's pretty good. Next up, we have the Back to the Future trilogy. This is like sort of like a special edition. Right here, it comes like, of course, all 3 the Back to the Future movies and 2 bonus discs, which is pretty damn cool. Next up, we have Dolly Dearest. Now, I don't know why I didn't put this as in my slasher collection video, but I wish I did. I don't know why I didn't. I forgot I had this movie. But yeah, this movie, pretty damn cool. If you're a fan of, like, Child's Play, Chucky movies and stuff like that, all the Chucky movies, y'all would enjoy this movie. Of course, it ain't as iconic as Chucky, but it's close to being as good. Next up, we have Blade 1, Blade 2, and Blade Trinity. Now, I know a lot of people hate the third one. I thought the third one was good. They did some different things here and there in it. In the third one, I enjoy all 3 of these movies. I like a lot of people despise the third one. I can't understand the hate. I mean, I didn't like it when I first saw the third one, but I do love the third one now. I really do. Next up, we have Tamara, or Tamara, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Tamara, that's the name of it. This movie's not for everybody. A lot of people will either love it or hate it. I enjoyed this movie. About this girl that gets bullied. People call her names and stuff. And then she sells her soul to the devil to try to make her look pretty and all this stuff. And then, these people, and then after these people, these bullies freaking accidentally killed her. There's some fucked up shit that happens in the movie. She ends up killing the bullies. So, yeah, it's a very good movie in my opinion. Next up, we have Cell Count. I bought this at Dollar Tree a while back. And this movie's okay. It's not the best. It's not one of the movies I would go back and rewatch, Next up, we have Walk the Line. One of my favorite musician type of movies. One of my favorite music type of movies. It's about Johnny Cash's life, which is I enjoy a lot of his music, Johnny Cash. So yeah, this movie is a really, really good movie. Walk the Line. Next up, we have Pure Country 1 and 2, and Pure Country 3, Pure Heart. Now, 1 and 2 are the best. Pure Heart, I didn't like it too good. 1 and 2, though, fantastic movies. Next up, we have The Equalizer 1 and The Equalizer 2. I enjoy both of these movies. I like the second one just a tiny bit better than the first one. Denzel Washington is a decent actor in my opinion. Next up, we have Mall Cop, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 1 and 2. Hopefully we get a third one day because I love these 2 movies. Hopefully we get a third one. So yeah, I like these movies. Next up, we have quite a few of my Jet Li movies. Kiss of the Dragon, which is a fantastic martial arts movie, and Cradle to the Grave, which is also a fantastic action-packed action martial arts movie, and Romeo Must Die, which is also an awesome action movie. And then we have Unleashed and Fist of Legend. All these movies, very good movies. Jet Li is a great martial artist, and I enjoy most of his movies. Next up is The Shining and Doctor Sleep. Now, Doctor Sleep is, of course, the sequel to The Shining. Now, I don't know why I forgot I had these movies, too. I could have put these movies easily in my Supernatural movie collection. But, yeah, I enjoy these movies a lot. They're creepy. They're entertaining. The first one's a little bit better than, of course, Doctor Sleep, but I still enjoy Doctor Sleep. Stephen King is a damn genius. Next up, We had Beetlejuice and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and stuff like that. In this collection right here. Love these movies. Next up, we have Mandy with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is like a hit or miss these days. He makes some good movies. And sometimes he don't make good movies. I enjoyed him in the Ghost Rider movies. I know, like I surprisingly saw people hate on the Ghost Rider movies. I can't understand the hate for those movies. I love those movies, but yeah, Nicolas Cage, he is a decent actor in my opinion. Next up, which is I'm surprised I didn't add these to the slasher collection, because these are movies that are definitely slashers. House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell. Now, Rob Zombie isn't for everybody. You know, I have quite a few of his movies, but his movies ain't for everybody. His movies are very gory, but they're not for everybody. These movies are very gory. I enjoyed that movie 31, which is it's in here somewhere. But yeah, I enjoyed most of his movies. Some of them. Next up is The Wizard of Oz. What a classic. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. You know, I grew up watching it. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. The Wizard of Oz. Next up is The Lion King remake. What a great remake. This remake is just phenomenal. This remake is phenomenal. I know it's beat by beat like the original, but it's cool seeing this stuff in live action. So yeah, The Lion King remake. Next up is I got quite a few Arnold Schwarzenegger movies here. Is Sabotage, which I haven't even checked out this movie yet. I'm planning on watching this movie soon. The Terminator, iconic. The first Terminator, sort of like a slasher, sort of. That's why I didn't add it in my slasher collection, because it's more of an action movie than a slasher, but this one's has the most slashing in it out of all the Terminator movies. Next up, Terminator 2. Extreme DVD edition. I enjoy this movie. It's iconic. What more can I say? Next up, we have Terminator 3. I like this movie way better than what people give it credit for. So yeah, I enjoy Terminator 3. Next up is Terminator Salvation. Now, Terminator Salvation, this is the weakest out of the Terminator movies, at least in my opinion. Terminator Salvation has good things in it, but this is the most boring and bland out of all the Terminator movies, in my opinion. Next up is Terminator Genisys. Now, I really don't get the hate for this movie. This movie has some awesome action from start to finish, and I actually enjoyed that twist at the end that John Connor ends up being bad. So yeah, I like that twist, because you got to do something different. That's what they did with this one. Next up is Terminator Dark Fate. Kind of like Halloween 2018. This movie is a direct sequel to the second movie. But, of course, Halloween 2018 was a direct sequel to the first movie, but this movie is a direct sequel to the second movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot. This is another one that gets quite a bit of hate. I enjoyed this movie a lot, actually. This movie has some awesome action. I like the stuff that happens in this movie. This movie has tons of action in it. This is one of the strongest Terminator movies since Terminator 2, in my opinion. Next up is another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Is Commando. What a fun ride this movie is. This movie is super fun, super entertaining. I enjoy this movie a lot. It has tons of action. If y'all love action movies, check this movie out if y'all haven't yet. It's a classic. Next up is Raw Deal. I tried to watch this movie, but this movie is just not that good. This movie is not that good at all. This is probably one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's weakest movies. Next up, we have Predator, another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This movie, in my opinion, it's overrated. I know a lot of people love this movie, but I enjoyed this movie. I don't hate it, but it's not as good as everyone else makes it out to be, in my opinion. A lot of people might get pissed off at me for saying that in this video, but this video ain't as great as everybody else says it is. But it's still a decent movie. I can still watch it, still have fun with it. Next up is Evil Dead, the Evil Dead remake. Now, at first when I saw this in the theater, I hated it. But when I watch it again on DVD, I actually enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, this movie is a pretty good horror movie. Next up is Under the Bed. Decent movie, not great, not perfect. So yeah, it's decent. Next up is Joey to the Max. I didn't even watch this movie yet. I remember buying this movie at Dollar Tree a while back, and stuff. So yeah. Next up is Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. Now, Tom Cruise is a good actor. He's a pretty damn good actor. I haven't even watched this movie yet, but I'm planning on watching this movie soon because I bought it recently. Next up is Days of Thunder. I didn't even watch this movie yet. I think I have a long time ago, maybe. But yeah, this movie might be a good movie. I might watch it. Like, it looks like it's like a type of racing type of movie. Hopefully it's a good movie. Next up is Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew, I haven't watched that movie yet. I'm planning on it. Next up is another movie I should have added to my Supernatural collection on that video, and that is the Amityville Horror Remake. To me, this is Ryan Reynolds' best acting performance. He should have won awards for this movie. That's how great of a job he's done with this movie. So yeah. Next up, Slasher.com. I probably could have added this to the Slasher collection video, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but yeah. There's some crazy twists and turns I didn't see coming today. Next up is the Amityville Harvest. Now this movie, at first I thought it was going to be like a supernatural horror movie, but it wasn't. It was a vampire horror movie. And I love vampire movies, but this one wasn't that great. The vampire movie I love is the Blade movies, all the Blade movies, and the Lost Boys. Next up is Night School, Kevin Hart. Very fun movie, hilarious, very enjoyable. Night School. Next up is Zombieland 1 and Zombieland 2. In my opinion, these movies should be considered classics. Both of these movies. They're equally good. I enjoy both of them. And hopefully we get a third one day, because I would love to see that. Because I'm a huge fan of the Zombieland movies, and I'm not that big of a fan of zombie movies. You know, I'll watch them, but I'm not too big of a fan of them. I'm more of a vampire guy. I love vampires. Next up is Dawn of the Dead and Land of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead's good. Land of the Dead, not so much. Next up is Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, the Night of the Living Dead. I've been watching this movie a long time ago, and I remember loving it. This is a classic. This movie is a classic. This is probably what started the whole zombie movies, if I'm not mistaken. The zombie movie craze. Next up is, now we're getting to my Steve Austin movies. Next up is Damage. Great underground fighting movie. Love this movie. This movie is freaking balls to the wall, freaking crazy. Love it. One of my favorite fighting movies is Damage. One of my favorites. Next up is Recoil, whatever the fuck you call it. You have Danny Trejo or Drago or whatever his name is. Playing the villain in this movie. And this movie is decent. Next up is The Condemned. One of my favorite Steve Austin movies. Yeah, this movie's action packed. I freaking love it. I freaking love this movie a lot. So yeah. I guess that's it for this video. If y'all enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please subscribe and share. And also hit the bell so you know when the video is uploaded. Peace out. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace.